One. In our endeavor to make our society more cyber secure, this time we are bringing some video for which is required for the teachers, because in our earlier series we have spoken about the students, we have spoken about the managers and officers who work in normal office, and now in this video this is actually intended to speak to the teachers, because in the present COVID-19 situation the teachers are required to take classes continuously on online basis, and some of the classes they are taking for quite some time at in a detailed period. So we need to be very sincere and careful that how we can protect our data and what are the do's and don'ts we need to do, and also what are the vulnerability and what are the chances of attack happening. So in my opinion, if the teachers wherever he or she is, whether she is a teacher of a school or a college or university, or maybe a teacher in the capacity of the web series, if she knows some of the technique of the cyber crime and some of the techniques of the cyber security measures what can be taken, it will be beneficial for them. Initially, this presentation was made for one of the Maharashtra-based colleges, and some of the slides I have taken from there. And maybe I am just trying to bring this presentation in different segments so that it doesn't become monotonous and boring for the long period of time. And therefore, I am just starting the presentation, keeping in the teachers in my mind. So, good morning to all of you. So our understanding of today's agenda is that we must understand what is cyber security. We must know what are the type of different attacks and vulnerabilities are there. We must know something about the protection mechanism. We will discuss a bit of the cloud security also. We will talk about the vulnerability and also the penetration testing, and then we will at the last we will talk of some of the protection measures what we do for our classes. So the first thing which comes in their mind, it is well known fact that the cyber crimes are actually on rise. The some of the graphs what I have collected from the Data Security Council of India site or some of the other official government of India site, which shows that the cyber crimes are increasing. You see, in 2004, where there were only 317 cybercrime cases were filed in India, in 2013 you can see more than 5,000 cases have been filed, and there are large organizations which have become victim of the data leakage and during this period. And number of breaches, data breaches also has been increasing in a continuous mode. It was 662 in 2010 towards 1473, which has become in 2019. So why in the colleges or in the schools we require the cyber security? That's the first question which come in my mind. So what is that? What is that for us? So you see, the educational institution, they are actually a holder of lot of database, huge database, and they have lot of personal identifiable information, which is a technical term, which means that information by which you can identify one of the student, and if those informations are shared, they are liable to be reputation losses. Now, what kind of personal identifiable information we store? We store student personal data such as email ID, we store home address, contact number, financial information, etc., etc. We also have in our database students educational data such as project data, marks, etc. We also have the admission detail, examination detail, some of the administration detail what we have, and also for our own institute we have the employee detail also. And then another important part is the institute where you are connected, we also have the financial data of that. Now we need to be very careful for some of our unknown activity. These information should not be made public, should not fall in wrong hand, by which some malified intention people can do some harm to the institution or to the students. So if we really see worldwide, the incidents are increasing in the large number. I have taken this slide from some of the US based website, where they are claiming that in January, some of the data even for the Indian area, they are telling that you see in January 2016 in IIM Ahmedabad it was hacked, and the hacker released the result of 2015 CAT exam, and that was results of some 2 lakh students. If you go to the other kind of data which are appearing in the left hand side of the graph, you can see that according to the US Department of Justice statistics, 4,000 ransomware attacks occur on daily basis in US alone. Now, if I come back to Indian incident, the records are even quite high, because you see some of the clipping I have taken from newspapers, so you can read some of them, that the Indian universities colleges has fallen victim to hacking operation of Iran. Higher education department's eGAN site has been hacked. Delhi University, IIT and AMU was targeted by hackers from the Pakistan. So we need to know that we are actually dealing in a society where there are people who actually are out there to take out our information and do it for something for their own interest. So we need to be careful. So why we need to be careful? What is that we understand to do? First thing first, in your organization there has to be a process where we should understand there is a method of classifying of the data. So when you say classify of the data, some data can be public in nature, which can be shared without any problem. Some data can be confidential in nature, something can be sensitive in nature, and some data can be very personal in nature. Nobody would like to share that actually. So for all kind of data, whatever classification we are discussing, there has to be a data protection policy for them. So the storage mechanism of the data which is of public of nature and the storage mechanism of the data which is very sensitive or very personal kind of nature should be different. So there has to be a data protection policy. We should very clearly understand who is the owner and who is the custodian of data. So you need to understand owner is the person for whom the data belongs to. So custodian of the data is the institution or organization who is the holder of the data. Like for instance, if a student's date of birth is the owner is the student because it is his date of birth, right? But we being in college, when we hold the data, we become custodian of the data. And therefore, the last but not least, another important point we must imagine, there has to be a operating procedure, standard operating procedure in case of any data pilferage happens. Because if the data gets lost or if it gets pilfered, then what are the steps somebody has to follow? It has to be very clearly documented. I will go remaining part of the slide in my next video, because I think that instead of going in detail in one video, it is better to break in different part. So let's continue. We will expect you to join in the next video again. Thank you very much.